Hey, sis, Coach Key here with my sisters Keep Her, and back again discussing the vital importance of solo travel. Yes, I said it. And I know that might scare some of you, and everybody talks about the dangers and yada, 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 yada. And I am not going to negate that at all. There are However, there are also ways, and we'll talk about those in another video, ways to protect yourself, ways to keep out of danger or at least minimize it to the best of your ability. So, my first solo travel trip was to San Francisco. And first thing first, I didn't want to travel outside of the country, right? Because at least here in the United States, I know and I'm familiar with our laws and what we can, what we cannot do. You've all heard those stories of people going overseas, doing stuff that they know was not okay to do, and then yeah, just can't go to jail. It's not in my favor. I'm not meant, I'm not built. It's not for me. Anyhow, um, so the first thing I wanted to talk about with solo travel is that you really do discover so many things about yourself. One of the things that you discover is your resilience, your ability to bounce back from things that don't go right. I remember when I decided to travel using public transportation, and I was really panicked because my phone was dying. I thought I had bought chargers, that can portable chargers, right? But they weren't working like I thought they would, and I had to find out once the subway dropped me off. Where in the world I had to catch the bus to, in order to get to my Airbnb. I was panicked, and thank God, for whatever reason, my phone stayed on 1%. Okay. And, even though I was panicking, I still kept my cool. And I kept saying to myself, Kiara, you're okay. You're going to get through this. You're going to be able to do this. Even when I first got off the airport and I couldn't find the right sub to go to, and a lovely driver said, "Oh, which way are you going?" I told him. You were like, "Oh, you're going to take this train, right?" And I ended up catching the right bus. I ended up getting to the Airbnb, and I couldn't get in. Like, they gave me the instructions, and I'm freaking out because it's not working. So, not only do you find out your resilience, you also find out a lot about your with itness, right? Your with itness and your ability to start to strategize and use logic and for yourself, just using your own brain power, because you really don't have anybody there to say, hey, why don't you try this? So you have to try things yourself. So my first thought was, let me try to call the people, but I'm only at 1%. And I'm like, God, help me. Okay. So eventually I did figure it out, how to get the key and how to get inside. And so that was one thing that I truly did learn. I learned where my resilience was. I learned how to definitely manage my emotions in that moment. And also, just how to calm myself enough that I could start to logically think about, okay, how do we solve this? Problem solving skills. That's what I was trying to think about. I'm like, I know there's a word for this. Problem solving skills. So another area, when you solo travel, you'll discover about yourself is your own growth, like how much you have grown in areas. And I really began to realize how much I grew in my social interactions with people. Before I really discovered that I was truly an extrovert. I know you probably like, Key, come on, everybody knows that. But I didn't know that about myself. I always thought I was more of an introverted person. And I began to reach out to people and to talk to people. I went on tours and made friends. And I really began to see how much I had grown in that area of just social interactions, my social skills, my ability to connect with others. So it was really beautiful. And then when you solo travel, you're also going to discover where you may still be weak and need to grow. Where are those areas where you need to be able to expand, yourself as a person and to develop some more. And definitely one of those areas that I saw was even in my ability to navigate places. Always thought that I was a very good navigator. um, Going on the solo trip, really, I discovered that there were some areas as far as me understanding directions and especially learning about, I'm not good with auditory, I'm much good with visual. So that was one of the things I discovered in a weakness that I have. So when people would tell me directions, if I asked, "Hey, where's this?" and they would tell it to me, it was very difficult for me to grasp that information and hold on to it. So I really did have to start to learn to write things down. So I realized that that's an area of weakness for me. So solo travel, it's a great way to discover amazing, beautiful things about yourself and also discover things that you really want to grow in and you need to grow in. My trip to San Francisco was beautiful. People thought I was nuts, crazy. My family was even like, "Are you kidding me? Wait a minute." They had me do that Life 360 to see where I was and all that. Um, and yeah, was I a little scared? I was, but it was one of the best decisions that I've made. And I encourage you, sis, to get out there and travel. Like I said, I'll talk a little bit more later on in another video about some things in order to protect yourself, and, to minimize some of the dangers. But definitely one of those is to stay within the United States for your first travel solo. It's just better, like I said, danger wise, the law is better. But get out there and try it, sis. You will discover amazing things about you, about the world around you, and really begin to love yourself even the more. Ta ta for now.